Hey folks, welcome to Black Gumbo. We're going to grow some sweet potatoes. Come along. Okay, so my son and I have started some sweet potato slips, and we did this in another video, but it was just a part of like a garden tour video. And I told you then I would make a video all about sweet potatoes, and I'm going to split that into two because I've got 4 months between what we're doing in this video and the harvest, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you how to start sweet potatoes in case you wanted to do yours. Now's the time to get them going. So let's go see what's going on. So Sam and I are going to plant up some sweet potatoes, and hopefully in about 8 to 12 weeks we'll have all these little plants. They call them slips. They're just shoots that come out of the sweet potato. And what we'll do with those is we'll break them off with their roots and establish them as their own plants. That's the way you maximize sweet potato production, is you don't just plant the potato. Otherwise the plant just grows and uses up all the energy stored in this potato and doesn't produce a lot of tubers for you. But if you plant the plant with roots that comes off of one of these, and you take it away from its starch and its food and plant that, that will produce tubers. And so that's what we're going to do. Which end do you think is up? That's the way we're going to put it. Notice the sweet potato has two different sides. One of them is a little more blunt and one of them's pointy. So what you want to do is take a cup and orient this where it's in the cup, suspended by toothpicks in the way we've all done it when we were elementary school kids. And you fill it up about halfway with water, or 2/3 of the way with water, and you wait. And you change that water when it starts looking gnarly, maybe once a week. So what we're going to do, Sam, is get some toothpicks.
It looks so weird.
You do the next one. Remember, the blunt side goes down. That one's pretty fat. I'm just going to fill this up with water. I want to submerge most of it. So that's about how much. All the way there. Let's leave these right over here for now. Over here on my gardening junk pile in my garage underneath my lights, I have my sweet potatoes putting on slips. Pretty impressively, look at that. So I got another few weeks of these to sit in water and grow some slips for me to plant. Then I'll break those slips off of there and put them in water, let them develop a larger root system, and then we'll plant them out. I also have slips on the way for some different varieties coming to me. So we'll have 3 different varieties of sweet potatoes going in for the summer crop. So I've come into my kitchen to show you the results of our sweet potato slip making activity. Samuel and I started these a while back. I'll put the actual weeks from start to now, and this is the one I broke in half, and you can see it's got a nice foot-long root there, and the slips are those little things growing off the side, and we'll break those off and plant them if they have a good root system. Here's the other half of the broken one that's kind of rotten there, but it put on a nice big ton of slips there. When they're about as tall as these here, I think you could probably use them. I'd like them to be a little taller. Here's the next best one, and you can see this one is about 10 inches long with lots of roots down at the bottom. And what we'll do is we'll come in here and just very gently break these off with some roots, and we'll put these in water until the root system grows out again. Just very gently break it off, try to get some root with it. That's a good one. And we'll let these sit in water and develop some more roots. Check these out. These guys are about 14 to 16 inches long. Again, with some good roots. And the ones that have good roots, I'm just going to gently break off. Look at that root. We'll drop that in the water too. Now I'll put these in a bigger jar, but for now I'm just harvesting these slips. Now this is a slip. Gotta break that out of there and get those roots. That's a good one. I could probably plant that in the ground right away. It's about a 10-inch long slip with about 5 inches of roots. Look at these guys. This has about 24-inch long vines coming out of it, and I had to put this in a larger container. So I've got another one here with the same kind of jungly growth. That's a good one. I could probably plant that one right now too. But I'm gonna give them a few more days, maybe a week, maybe 2. And then Sam and I are gonna go plant these. Actually, I might plant some of them tomorrow just to see what happens since I have extras. Well, we were gonna film some planting today. We've got this unusual storm coming in. Well, it's clouds. But the sky looks really bizarre. I know that's some kind of weather phenomenon that weather geeks are into. I don't know what it means. It's like we're underneath a boiling layer of something. Isn't that cool? Okay, so it's late in the day. We want to plant these out now. They're going to be in a real sunny spot, but they're going to be in a sunny spot where it's late in the day. And well, I kind of need to harden them off. I've been hardening them off a little bit throughout the last couple of days. But we're going to have overcast, cloudy days for the next couple of days, and that's a perfect time to get these in the ground. So let's go over and I'll show you the container we're going to put our slips in. What we're going to do is we're going to put 6 slips in here, and we're going to plant them about 8 inches deep or so. And we're going to then let them crawl up a trellis we're going to put leaning against this fence. And so I think that's a pretty good sized bin there. I think we can get 6 plants in there. Maybe even more, but I'm going to start out with 6. What do you think? 6?
Yeah.
Let's find some good ones that have long roots on them. We've selected 6 of them. And you can see, we're going to use that water in here, but don't dump it yet. You can see there's a good developed root structure down here. I'm just going to pinch off some of these leaves at the bottom. This is a
handy little tool.
Yeah, it's called a dibber.
A dibber?
Dibber. Here, you can put that water down and pack that in for me. So basically we make the hole, take the plant, drop it in.
Pack the dirt.
That's about it. I mean, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Now we need to water this in real well. These plants,
just drank out of
these plants have been, these plants have been living in water for their entire life. I don't want to shock them too much, so I'm really going to soak this soil really well. I soaked the soil last night really well, and then put another layer on top here that hasn't been soaked. So I'm going to water this in really well. So we're going for a real saturation here.
Are we going for like super soaked mud?
Yes, because remember they've been living in water, and so we want their transition to soil to be as easy as possible. I want them to think they're still living in water. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. I put up a piece of hog wire between 2 T-posts leaning against the fence, and once these vines in the back start getting tall enough, I'll wind them up through there too. You kind of have to get sweet potatoes started or they'll just sprawl. If you're planting them in a broad space, you know, like in the ground, it's best to let them sprawl because they'll occasionally root along the way and make more tubers for you. But here I need to grow vertical. I need these plants to have access to an entire, you know, to half day of sun here, because I need these plants to be able to act like a solar panel and absorb all the radiation they can from the sun as it's transiting and going down over there in the west. So they'll make tubers down there. I don't know, we might get some, we might not, but you got to try, huh? Waiting for my 2 other varieties of sweet potatoes, and I may do some more. I may do some more containers, and if I can free up space in my garden, I might do some in ground. These will have my O. Henry and my Japanese purple sweet potatoes in them, but they are not ready yet. They need more roots before I'm comfortable putting in. But I wanted to show you, I'm going to use these containers, and I'm going to put 2 plants in each, maybe 3. What do you think? Have you planted sweet potatoes in containers? I've seen Gary do 3 or 4 plants in a 5-gallon bucket or a 10-gallon bucket over at Rusted Garden, and I think I'm going to go with fewer plants. He had more of a harvest with fewer plants. Sweet potatoes. Now these are a morning glory. They're not a true potato like these are. This is a morning glory, and it will have a beautiful flower. Once you start to see the flowering stage, you can be sure it's putting on tubers. And this is a 4 to 6 month wait. So just in time for the next apocalyptic food shortage, huh? Hey, thanks for joining us. There's sweet potatoes. Part 2 will be in 6 months, and we'll see what happens when we turn that thing over and see if we grew any sweet potatoes. Thank you for joining me. Happy gardening to you. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's a nice rainbow. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Covenant promise right there.